All right. So welcome, and thank you guys for joining us to our One Team University. Just as a reminder, we're doing this for a couple of reasons. One, we do these kind of meetings, trainings to come together as a one team, right? We want to thank the Cougars and John Anderson for the beautiful opportunity they've given us and for this new lease on life. And we show our thanks by working together as one team and really helping everybody grow and be successful in this company, because we are truly on a mission to be the largest health and wellness company in the world. And we know that if we come together like this, we can do it. So that leads me kind of into my second reason. It is so important to me that you guys, everybody has the same resources. And I know that's why Kathy works so hard with the systems that we have. But as leaders, we get to pull together and really share our resources. And we have beautiful, beautiful leaders in this company. And I love that you guys get to meet them all through this one little vehicle, right, of this One Team University training. So I'm really excited tonight because I get to share some with you guys that most of you probably already know. But if you don't know her, she is such a joy. I can't believe I'm getting emotional right now. I was not expecting that. Samantha is one of the first people that I met in the company outside of my own personal little team. And we actually met on a trip that we both earned. I saw that, Samantha. We both earned a trip to the Ice Derby, and we were on the same little bus coming from the airport to the resort. And we were just like both in the same exact position, like thrown into this whirlwind of like quick success and funny and bonuses and trips. And we're like, what in the heck is going on? What are we a part of? You know? And it was just so fun. But here's the thing is I got to sit with her at breakfast, and I was in awe and still am in awe of the heart of this woman. I mean, I don't know anybody who gives to more people. I don't know anybody who just shows so much love to each individual. And I am so excited you guys get to hear from her tonight. I know she's going to come at you guys like a boss and teach you guys some really important stuff. But just know that this woman has a heart of gold. Like she truly, truly does. And I'm going to brag about her for a second because I know she won't do that. So real quick, and she's going to share her story, but like so many of us, I know prior to Isagenix, she was a tired mama of two beautiful girls, supporting her husband, Joe, while he was working in his career as a chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy, serving on submarines, which is really cool. Samantha, I actually didn't know that about him. We had to talk later. My grandpa did. But after she started Isagenix in 2013, she really found her purpose and really connected with why she's here and what she could do, what her potential was. And she has been blessed with the opportunity, the business opportunity. It has allowed her to spend more time at home with her girls and see them off to school every morning. They look gorgeous if you follow her on Facebook. She does a good job. I need to learn a few things from her. She's a member of the Start 1000 and has enjoyed many trips with Isagenix, including the Ice Derby that I was telling you guys about in St. Thomas. She's currently on a mission to share the products and opportunity with all mothers. With her eyes set on fostering to adopt in the future, her goals is to show her girls and everyone in life that if someone else has done something, you can too, and you can learn the skills to do it. So she is a 4-star Golden Circle, 2-star Crystal Executive, member of the Start 1000, and we are so honestly privileged and blessed to have her. So Samantha, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can just throw all your wisdom at us. And your story.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Trisha, thanks for having me. It's so funny you think I have a big heart. I don't even know how your heart doesn't just burst right out of your chest, because I think you have the biggest heart in the company. But, one of my favorite things about Isagenix for sure has been the relationships along the way. And if there's one piece of advice you get from this Zoom, and I'm going to be talking about being organized, so I hope that will be helpful for all of you. But if there's one thing you get from this Zoom, I think what has kept me in the game, and some of this is a game, but what has kept me in the business and kept growing and kept my business in momentum have certainly been my cross-line relationships with people that you can talk to freely and openly. You can bounce ideas off of. Trisha and I come from very different uplines. both of us on insides and both of us with big leaders way at the top, but very different how we grew our businesses. And so we've been able to share and laugh and cry and be mad and all those things that you go through when you own any business. Always keep that in mind. Any business, not just this one. We've been able to do it together alongside with some of our other really close friends. So if you haven't made friends cross-line with some people, it's definitely something that you should put on your to-do list. But for right now, if it's okay, I just love to share my story with all of you guys, why I'm here, what happened that brought me here. And just really quickly, my husband had a really big career in the Navy, and there were kind of two things I think that led me here. Number one, as proud of him as I kind of felt like, gosh, when will it be my turn to share my gifts with the world? And how will I do that while I'm supporting his really big career, sacrificing his life on the daily for our country, and how will I share with my daughters that you too can have a purpose that's really big alongside your spouse, something that was very, very important to me. But number two, from the outside looking in, our life was really great. We've always been into debt-free living. My husband had a really big, very proud career, and I had a pretty good career as well, and our daughters are gorgeous. Sorry, but they are. And so from the outside in, it was looking really great. And then I received a phone call that no military wife ever wants to receive, that my husband was hurt in the line of duty during a deployment. And unfortunately on that phone call, they can't really tell you what's going on. And everything I thought I knew in that moment had changed and erupted in my life. And my husband's hand was crushed, his dominant hand, in the middle of the night with what is an oxygen cylinder. How they breathe on submarines, they make their own oxygen. And they couldn't get him off the submarine because it would have endangered the 130 other lives on board. So when he did return 2 weeks later, his hand had healed in all the places it was broken. And although they tried to win, they never were able to give him full motion. And ultimately, the Navy decided that we would be retired early. And so we went through a lot, if you can imagine the chaos that was going on in our lives. And I joked around about this at ICU. So if you were at ICU, you already heard this, but a homecoming's a homecoming. So during all of this, I was also pregnant. And so pregnant, we had no job. My husband started going through some major PTSD, actually. And we were both kind of going through an identity crisis at the time. I was really used to being a really amazing Navy wife. He was really used to being this highly decorated chief petty officer. He was about to actually be a senior chief. And everything felt really scary. And if I look at that time in my life, I think of how dark it was, how much light I needed. And Isagenix ended up being that light for me, where other people on the outside were like, wow, you're so lucky. You're getting part of his pension and your benefits, and he gets to be home. We were like, yeah, but we're not sure how we're going to pay our mortgage. And that was really strange for us because although we had a lot of leeway in our budget, no job is really different than a job, right? So Isagenix came into my life in a really funny way. It was through a friend of mine online who was posting consistently about this rocket ship that she was launching. And for a long time, I would like and comment, or for a long time I just liked, and I started commenting. And I want you to understand one of the things she did that was really brilliant was it was very consistent. And, I rolled my eyes, then I started liking, then I started, really thinking about it, but I never messaged her. And I want you to hear that. I never, as much as I needed her, I never messaged her. And it was really dark in my life at that time. And her life looked really light, right? And she messaged me one day and said, hey, thank you so much for liking my post. Are you open to creating opportunity for your family? And I said, well, not if it's chapstick or Avon or makeup or anything. I'm not open for that. And that's all I knew. That was my ignorance for network marketing. I just thought of Avon. So kind of crazy. I like their chapstick, by the way. I just didn't want to sell it. But and she said, no, it's not chapstick. But that wasn't my question. My question was, are you open? And I was, and I wasn't, and I was, and I really wasn't. But in the end, the end of this story is that I said yes. And not right away, not the second that we did our three-way call, but I said yes. And she was launching a rocket ship, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eric Worre. He does what's called a 20 and 30, enroll 20 people in 30 days. And she's actually not a really big recruiter, so this was really outside of her comfort zone. But I was one of 17 on that rocket ship that she enrolled, so she got to 17. And 5 years later, she would tell you, if she was on this call, that I am the only one still on that voyage. But I was the one that made the difference. So when I went 3-star Golden Circle last year, she maxed out her center. So it only takes 2. We say that a lot, but it's really true. So that's my story. So, but people will say, well, gosh, Samantha, your life was a little crazy back then, huh? You were pregnant. Your husband was waking up in the middle of the night, scaring the crap out of you. He had no job. You had a job. And then you were nursing your baby in the middle of the night by the time Isagenix came. How did you possibly do this thing and do it so fast? And how are you a 4-star now? And how do you keep that going? And my number one and only tip for you is that I'm really organized. I'm not really good. I'm very consistent, though, and I'm very, very organized. And I know people will say, I'm here to tell you if I can do it, you can do it. But do you see what I look like right now? I am here to tell you that if I can do it, you can do it. There's someone on this call that just saw me pretty much crying out of Justice. Anyone been in Justice with their tween yet? Buying flip-flops about an hour ago. So listen, I just want to keep it real that if I can do this, you can do it. But I stayed really organized, and I had a system that I used and that I teach to my team, and I want to teach it to you tonight. And what I want you to know about this system is that you can alter it to work for you. But here's what the best part about an organization system, whatever it is, it's extremely duplicatable. So if you have a system, any organization system, this one I'm going to teach you, one like it, you can teach it. And I believe that there is no greater tool, because when people come into this, they're usually coming in because somewhere in their life it's dark, right? Whether it's financially, relationship-wise, whatever. And if we can teach them how to do this and truly in just a couple hours a week and not get overwhelmed, I think there's some power in that. My business is a pretty substantial 4-star Golden Circle business, which is between 40 and 60 cycles a week. And I don't have anybody on my team cycling more than 1 star, not one person. So that means I have what? A lot of people doing a very, very little. Okay, so I'm just waiting for one, you guys. So if you know anyone, no. But seriously, on a serious note, that means that I'm able to teach people to do this in just a couple of hours a week. So I have a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people cycling between 4 and 6 times a week. And that's fun for me because I know how much money that is, and I know how life-changing that is. Last thing before I go into the organization system, I teach a financial class. I highly recommend you take it in your own hometown. It will change your life. It's another really great duplicatable thing. It's called Financial Peace University, and you can just put your zip code in. So financialpeaceuniversity.com. It's Dave Ramsey, debt-free living. I'm into it. But what's cool about it is that there's some stuff in there that will really help you feel like you need to share this and you need to share it right now, because we just got our updated stats for Financial Peace University 2019. I teach 2 classes a year. It's 9 weeks. And 82% of American families do not have more than $500 liquid cash. Okay, if that doesn't scare the living crap out of you right now, my heart is like I think about my neighbors, like what? 82%. That is a very large number, you guys. $500 is 10 cycles a month. So if you don't already know we need to share this, I just want to throw that there. Okay, so how do I stay organized? So I want you to picture everybody coming into your business in this funnel, and funnels are big at the top and small at the bottom, okay? And what I like to picture is like a love funnel, okay? And so this is a sales funnel, but we're going to kind of put a twist on it. And this funnel, it has 5 sections to it. 5 sections in the funnel, okay? And these are the things you want to jot down. So 5 sections in the funnel. And you need to, your only job in Isagenix, besides like growing yourself, is to love people down this funnel, okay? And so you're just going to love them from the top to the bottom. Doesn't matter how you say, what you say, you're just going to love them down. I'm going to give you a lot of tips and tricks, but the goal is to bring people from the top to the bottom. And mostly we do that with just a whole lot of love, okay? But it's strategic, and we only have so much time in our own love cups, right, to pour love. So we're going to be strategic about it. So I want you to picture the top of the funnel as step one. Okay, step one to the funnel, bringing people down to the funnel. And remember, you guys, if you don't bring them down in the funnel, it's like dark in the funnel and it's confusing in there. People get very confused in this funnel. You got to bring them down fast. You can't let them hang out in there a long time. It's a very lonely place, the funnel. Okay, can't see anybody. It's dark. So you got to bring them down. The light is at the bottom. So top of the funnel, step one, this is our connecting step. Okay, so these are all the people that we're bringing into our funnel. I personally like to help people who I do not know. Okay, so if that's not you, then some of these tips are not going to work out for you. The less I know them, the better for me in Isagenix. Okay, I'm cold market all the way. I'm going to give you tips on cold market. But if I don't know them, it's easier. It's just better for me. So that's what I like. If you do know them, they still go in step one. Everybody stops in step one, whether you know them or not. And this is where we're building rapport. We're connecting with them. It's as easy as cute shoes. Where are they from? Or you're in the gym. Wow, how long have you been using this particular apparatus? Is that the right word? I don't work out. How long have you been lifting weights? I don't know what the jargon is. You guys know who work out, okay? So I like to talk like mommy talk, oh, does your kid sleep? Stuff like that. So, connecting is very easy, but we go to work to complicate it and we make it weird. It's not weird. It's just a conversation, okay? Where do I meet people for cold market? For my connecting. And you want to set your goals around things you can control. So one of the things that you can control is how many new friends you're making in step one. That's something you can control every day. So I like to set my goals on that. I like to add 7 people to my love funnel a week. That's one a day, right? That's where I'm at in my business. So where am I doing that? So first thing I do is I am in 2 groups, just 2. So if you're in 11, go leave 10 of them. 2 groups where I bring value. So they're not groups that are, I would never bring value to a fitness group, but they're not groups that were circled around health and wellness. Okay. These are groups. One of them is a Dave Ramsey group, for debt-free living. I think it has 300,000 people in it. And the other one is a Golden Doodle group. Because if you haven't met my Golden Doodle pancakes, you have not lived yet, right? He's right here. He never leaves his mama. Huh. No, he does not. He never leaves me. And so he's sitting with me right now, but I love him so much, you guys. I have so many pictures of pancakes and so many things I can say about Golden Doodles and them as a breed. I can bring value to that group. So I host Golden Doodle Nose Friday in there. I talk about how we have to give them baths because their skin gets irritated and different bath recipes. Now, this might sound crazy to you, but that's okay because I have 100 people on my team who have Golden Doodles. So here's the thing. What are you good at? What do you know a lot about? It's probably not debt-free living or Golden Doodles, except maybe Nicole Hammondtree if she's on here, because I know she has Golden Doodles. But what do you love? What do you love your car? Do you know a lot about your car? Do you love I don't know, makeup? Or do you know a lot about makeup? Do you have a certain dog that you love, a breed you grew up with? My husband grew up with Doberman. He's always if I'm ever do the business, I'm going to be in a Doberman group, right? So what are you really good at? And the more niche it is, the better. The more specific it is, the better. So I could be in a dog group, cute dog group, but what kind of value am I going to bring? Now, Golden Doodle people, they love me because I'm really into my Golden Doodle. I know a lot about him. Debt-free living, I am on it, right? So I want you to think about your homework after this call is what 2 things are you really good at? What do you know a lot about that is not related to Isagenix? I would prefer it not be related to Isagenix. So how does that work now? I am in this group, these 2 groups, every day, multiple times a day. When I post, if people like it or comment, I immediately message them. I immediately respond. I immediately friend request them. Now, they only go in my funnel if they accept. No stalking people in the top of the funnel, but they go up there if they accept. And these are how I make my new friends. Now, what's cool about this is they're going to see my drip, which I do 1 power post a week, about 6 posts that are sort of about Isagenix, and about 15 posts that are just about my kids and my dog. So, but they're seeing my drip. They're getting to know my family. And then I put my little Isagenix bomb in there once a week. And then I get oh, hey, what do you do? What's going on? So a lot of people from these groups that I become friends with, they ask me for the presentation, which is the bomb, right? That's what we want. That's what what's great. So find those two groups where you can add value and add value. You know, I have a little alarm that goes off on my phone for each group that reminds me to post in those groups because I'm busy. And when I was first growing this, I was even busier. So I want you to get comfortable in these groups. Okay. The second way I meet new people is by going to networking events. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on meetup.com. If it says networking in the title, I go to it. And I try to go to ones in my state and then ones across the next state. Now, if you're like hours from another state, ignore this. But I'm on the Rhode Island, Connecticut line, so I want to grow my team in both groups. But I go to networking groups, but here's what's a little different. I take everyone's cards at the group, whether I think I'm going to like them or not, and I email everybody after the group, and I just say, hey, I don't think we got a chance to talk if we didn't, but what I'd love to do is sit down and collaborate because I'm in the business of giving referrals, and I'd love to see if I can be a good referral partner for you. Okay? That's how I've enrolled a lot of gyms, massage therapy, chiropractors, people who are just doing a little, maybe they retail for me, by just collaboration. If I've talked to them a little bit, then I'll add some more details. So one of my tips is that I take the back of business cards, if I just had a really great conversation and I go pee, like go to the bathroom, and I write on the back, like great conversation, she had cute shoes, so I remember the next day, because typically at these events, you're meeting 10 to 20 people really fast, right? So, and I don't have a good memory. So you can just make little notes. Oh, no. Make little notes, okay? The other thing I do that I love is that I, if I'm at the networking group and, I meet someone and it's like, okay, how am I ever going to refer this person business? They're a barber or something that just seems a little bit out of my realm that I'm able to help. I just say to them, I have a really big sphere of influence and I'd love to see if I can help you because I can't collaborate. So what's important is that we're keeping our language appropriate to the conversation or to what they do. So I love the words collaborate, refer to you, make this about them. This meeting is not about me. This meeting's about them. How can I help them? If you're familiar with BNI, which is one of the bigger networking organizations out there, their whole philosophy is givers gain, and I am so into that. So the more you give, the more you gain, and so see what you can do for them first, and then say, I was thinking of a way you might help me. So I always come to these cold meetings with a way they can help me. So I might say, if it's a barber, I might say, a way you could help me is if you let me set up at your place on your busiest day for a couple hours. That would be a huge help for me. Or a way you could help me is just introduce me to your two best friends, whoever they are. I'm sure they use protein. So I give people a way to help me. I don't leave it like open, like, hey, I have these solutions. Do you know anyone? I go in with a plan to how they can help me. Okay, so those are some of the ways I meet people. The other way is on meetup.com, just by going to meetups, whatever they are. I actually like hiking. I'm not into working out, but I love hiking. And so I go to hiking meetups. Sometimes I go to we have a couple of eating meetups where you go to different restaurants once a month that are different cuisines out there. We also have meetups that are book meetups. So whatever interests you, keep it real, but go and explore and meet. And here's what I love about Meetup. If you're not using meetup.com, you don't have to worry about getting people's information because you can message them through Meetup. And it will email alert them when you message them. So if you're someone who's a little bit more nervous about how do I get that number or that business card, Meetup's a great place to start because then you can go home, and I go home and that night or that next morning, I'm like, hey, it was so great meeting you, or hey, we didn't get a chance to talk, or hey, I noticed you didn't go to the Meetup but you had planned to. Are you going to the next one? And I start building that rapport. So these are the people that are going in step one. Now, how do I keep track of this? I use books. Okay, so I have 5 different books for what I'm about to explain to you, and they're numbered 1 through 5. But you can also do this on Excel and tabs and alphabetize it if you're that kind of person, which some people are. I love to touch it, feel it. I love to take it with me. I like to have it in my purse, and I'll tell you why at the end. But you can do this however you want. So let's keep talking about the funnel. We're going to move them down to step 2 in the funnel, which is creating curiosity about what we do, whether it's the business or the products, right? And what I love about cold market is my favorite conversation is, what do you do for work? And then they ask me, what do you do for work, right? So you want to practice what you're going to say. A lot of this is done in chat and text, but mostly I just say, oh my goodness, I have an amazing health business that lets moms feel more comfortable in their bodies. It is my greatest passion and one of my greatest joys. What do you do? And so we start building that curiosity by using buzzwords. I talk a lot about, I always say my home-based business, or I talk a lot about my mommy juice when I'm talking about ionics. So come up with some words that feel fun to you, that feel real, not my words, your words, that you could drop into these conversations with these new friends to have them ask you, what is mommy juice? Mommy juice is good because people don't know what that is, right? Home-based business is good because people want to know what home-based business you're in. Work from my phone in my car, that's interesting to people. So what kinds of things are intriguing to the market you're trying to attract, right? I'm talking to people who either live debt-free or have a golden doodle. So I hone my conversations in on those types of things, right? So when we get to step 2, the thing we have to do next, and this is the most important thing to bring them down through the middle of the funnel, is step 3, which is the presentation, okay? And the presentation is only the presentation if you attempt to close. That means you have to say whatever your closing statement is. Are you ready to get started today on a scale of 1 to 10? How committed are you to change your life? Can I set you up for success? Do you want to start with chocolate and vanilla? Whatever it is, okay? I don't care what it is, but you've got to have it, and it's got to be something that you say every time, no matter what. Even if you're 100% sure the person's going to say no, you still say it, right? And so whatever feels good. I always say which pack sounds the best for you, because I present the packs, and that's just what I say. My sponsor asked me if I wanted 2 chocolate and 2 vanilla. That was how she closed. I said I wasn't ready. But what's really great about this is there's like 6 ways to do a presentation now, okay? So you can do a virtual launch party. You can do an in-home, a sip and sample. You can do a one-to-one meeting where we're talking about, how we can help each other, or we're getting to know each other. You can do a 3-way call. You can do a 3-way message that's going on Facebook or text or, whatever. And you can still do a conference call. I still sometimes have 4 or 5 people dial into the same call and do a call that way. So there's a lot of ways to do this. But you got to get them to this part. This is the most important part. And you can set your goals every week based on how many presentations you're going to do, because you're in control of that. You're in complete control of how many times you say, are you ready to get started today? And I want you to feel that you're in complete control of that, because this entire business, the success of this business is based on one thing, and that is how many times you say a day, are you ready to get started today? So it's bringing people through this, but if you're not presenting, you're not enrolling. And if you're not enrolling, you're not participating in the compensation plan. So that presentation is key. Now, here's what happens during the presentation. They say one of 2 things. They say, yes, yay, we celebrate, or they say, not right now. Those are the only 2 things you ever hear. Yes, not right now. Those are the only 2 things that people actually ever say. If they say yes, we just scratch your name out of the book and we move them to whatever organization system that we're using to create consultants, managers, directors, executives. And I'm not training on that today, but you should have some system for that. If they say not right now, you say, whew, you're moving them down to the funnel, because now they're in step 4, which is our tools, right? They need more tools. They either are people who need more tools, or we haven't done a good job with the tools, right? And so we're going to give them the tool, whatever it is. And so I always say, I completely understand. I personally did not say yes right away. I needed more information. What information can I get you that would help you make a really great decision in the future? And I suggest a couple things. Would it be helpful if I sent you some of the science? Do you feel like you listen to a podcast? Are you a podcast person? Or you know what I was thinking? I have someone same age as you who had the same weight loss goal that she's completed. Can I connect you guys? So I try to give them a tool of some sort, and I ask them, I always attempt to rebook the call. So I'll say, do you think you'll have looked that over in the next week or 2? Let's schedule a call 2 weeks from today or 1 week from today at the same time, same date, just so I can check back in, see what you thought, and we can move from there, because I will try to close them again if I can. Now, some people will say, I know I'm not going to be ready till next April when I have my tax return. I know I'm not going to be ready till February because that's when my mom will tell me what I should do, whatever, okay? And that's fine. I just say I completely understand. I'm going to reach out to you about every 30 days or something just to let you know if anything exciting is going on. And then they go to book number 5. After we've sent the tool, they've either declined to get on the call or they've gotten on it, but they've said not right now again to us in some way. And they're going to go to the 5th step of our prospecting, our funnel, our love funnel, which is the follow-up. right? And so in the follow-up book, what's most important, and I have hundreds of people in mine right now, which is really fun, is that I'm not just messaging them when there's an Isagenix promo or seasonal shake. I always message them during those things. But I'm also constantly in this book giving these people love, because to get through the bottom of the funnel, you need to just love them right through the bottom. They just need you to love them. And they need to know that they're being heard and that you're listening to them and loving them no matter what. And you're going to pull them right down that funnel with love, and they're going to see the light, and it's going to change their lives and yours as well. So what's most important here for the follow-up is that we're not just, hey, are you ready now? Hey, is this a good time? Hey, we have a seasonal shake. Hey, it's free shipping. We're really devaluing Isagenix when we're only focusing on that in our follow-up. What we want to be focusing on is continuing to have those conversations. Hey, I love being a mom, if there's moms on, because I can just talk about their kids, Hey, I saw those Halloween costumes. Hey, can you believe we had to put together 100-day projects? Who has time for this crap? Hey, blah, 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 and on and on and on, all the crap that we do as moms, right? I mean, I could talk about the crap that they have us do all day long with people. So I go to that because that's my thing, right? It's the thing I like to complain and talk about. And most moms do. So whatever your thing is, whatever these people things are, you go on their Facebook and you check them out and see what they're up to. And then you talk to them about it, and you just continue to follow up. They'll know you're there. But if you don't follow up with them, they don't know if your business lights are on. If you're someone on this call that's someone said, hey, are you still doing Isagenix? You need to take a look at what your Facebook looks like, what your life looks like, what you're putting out there. Because if someone has to ask you, there's a problem there. It should be very clear that your business lights are always on and that you are always there and ready when they are ready. Okay? So when we're looking at the funnel and we're looking through all the steps, why do I like to have it in books, or why do I suggest having it in tabs? Well, I'm a busy mom, so I time block in 90-minute increments, 60 or 90, but mostly 90. And what I do is, if you looked at my schedule, it would say 1 to 2:30, book 2. So in my mind, what that means is I'm with only book 2, no distractions, and my only job during that 90 minutes is to move people from curious to presentation. If it says 1 to 2:30, book 4, I know that I'm double checking on those people I sent tools to, trying to get that follow-up call, and moving them to the follow-up book. I put in a couple hours a week on my book 5, which is my follow-up book. I'm always sending those people love and just loving them through whatever they're going through. So those are the 5 steps. That's the funnel. And so you can create your own organization system similar to mine. Steal mine if you want. Doesn't matter to me. You can make 3 steps instead of 5. But what I'm encouraging you to do is figure out what it is you're doing. Start doing it now and start teaching people to do it, and have accountability around it. In addition, set your goals based on it. So my goals every week are based on how many new friends I'm making, how many people I'm doing the presentation for, and how much personal growth I'm doing. Those are my 3 goals every week. They're never enrollment based or rank advancement based, because I can't control that. Those numbers work out by themselves if I'm doing those other 2 things. So the 2 things you can control are how many times you're closing and how many new friends you're making. Okay, so those are the things that I like to set goals on. And you know what's really great about goal setting around those 2 things? Anybody can goal set in any place in their business. I'm a 4-star. I can goal set with anyone who's even a manager and just say, let's both add 10 friends. Let's both do 4 presentations this week, So it's really great because you can goal set with your teams around organization. And here's the other thing that's really great about organizing. If I look at someone on my team's books and they're struggling, they're like, I don't know why, I'm really struggling, I'm trying to get to wherever, I can look at their books and see where they need coaching. Because if they have a lot of people in book 1 and not a lot of people in book 3, then I know that they don't feel comfortable moving people to a call. And so then I can work with them one-on-one on their posture. If they have a lot of people in book 3, but they don't have a lot of people moving to book 5, I know that they need help with how to get people additional tools and resources. If they have a lot of people in book 5, then I know they need help with follow-up and how to do it appropriately. So when we are using the book system or some sort of organization system, we can check in with our team members and coach quicker and more effectively, because we can see where they're struggling in this process. Because this is a sales funnel, and although we're in a sharing business, we really are also using a sharing or sales funnel, whatever you want to call it, we do have to close and they do have to get products. And so if we can focus on helping people understand this funnel and how to bring people down through it, we can really help them with sometimes it's just a couple words they need to tweak that helps change their ratio from maybe they're only closing 1 every 20 to closing 5 every 20. And so we can use that coaching. It also allows us to say to people, hey, I know that I'm struggling with follow-up. What are some tips you have? Or I know I'm struggling with making new friends. How are you meeting new people? So I think it serves as a way for us to get better coaching, but also for us to give better coaching. So this was kind of a quick review. I left 10 minutes. I gave myself until 10:15. So if anyone has any questions, if you want to throw them in the chat now, this is a great time. I'll try to answer them. Any question will work. Whatever you have to ask or want to ask about organization. But I'm going down to the bottom. Nicole's on here. But yeah, if somebody wants to put it in there or unmute, either way. The only other thing I'll say while maybe someone's typing or not is that if this overwhelms you at all, just start baby steps. So start just with getting your book 1 together. Just put together a couple hours and just get all your prospects in there. The very first thing you can do is print your Facebook list. If you don't know how to do that, just go on YouTube, put how to print your Facebook list. It tells you. And, you might want to trim some of those Facebook people out. I use this as an opportunity to say, I want to really be friends with people who are people that I want in my business and in my culture. Facebook is my business. It's not for anything else. The other thing that's really important to know as you're kind of growing in your groups and in your cold market is if you have a group of people that you want to see your posts, you want to make sure you're commenting and liking on their posts because Facebook recognizes that and they'll make sure that they see more of your posts if you're commenting and liking on theirs. No, you can do this. Good question. You can do this in Excel with tabs. You can do it any way you want, whatever feels good. I don't ever travel with my computer, and I'm just a busy mom. Like I spent about 20 minutes working on book 2 in the dentist's office the other day. So that was really helpful just to have my book with me. Yeah, step 3 is a tough one. That's a great question. Posture for me is when I'm in step 2 and I'm creating curiosity about what I do, I just straight up ask people, I don't have a lot of time and I kind of use that to my advantage. So I'll just say, you seem really interested in what I do. I'd love to explain it more. It's way too much to type. Do you have 15 minutes where we could chat about some of the health goals you're working on? I just keep it really simple. If they say, I don't have people say no very often to that. I have people say no all the time, but I don't have people say no to that very often. Some of the other things I like to do is just say, are you, you keep asking me questions. Are you open to seeing if this could work out for you? Step 2 is just creating curiosity about what we do. So we know them, we're connecting with them. We know that we have the same shoes or we have the same dog or we both like Dave Ramsey or whatever group you're in. We have the same car, but they don't know what we do yet. So we're trying to create curiosity on their part about what we do by starting to kind of drip a little bit into what we do. So I say things a lot like, oh my goodness, I gotta run. Thanks for the quick chat this morning, but it's bus time. I could never do this without my mommy juice. I say that all the time. That's really how I create curiosity around the products. But I also say things like, if I'm packing for a trip, I'll be like, I know I'm going to get stopped by security. I just say silly things that are true, just to get people to ask me, how can you share videos if some people are not on Facebook from Inspire You? I don't know what Inspire You is, and I don't share videos with anyone. So that's probably not a good question for me. That must be a Trisha question. I think there's a share button. You have to be really careful without giving people too much information before you get them on the phone, though. So that's why I don't share videos. I'm not saying you shouldn't share, but sometimes we talk people out of it before we even talk to them, if that makes sense. So I always say the least amount of information before we can get them to me listening about them, because that's what my calls are about. Yeah, that's a good question. Do I have a certain amount of time? So I will tell you this. This isn't like super nice, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I don't have any Isogenics friends. So like if you're friending me right now, I'm going to decline because I was spending a lot of time liking and commenting because I love all of you. I love all the stuff that you put out there and I want to like and comment on it. But I was spending hours on non-income producing activities. So I'm only friends on Facebook with like my 10 best crossline friends and then my own team and anyone else from Isogenics. Honestly, you should follow me because I'm very consistent. You can steal anything I ever post. You do not have to message me and ask me, but you should not really be friending a lot of Isogenics people. I actually unfollow most of them. I'm so sorry, but some of the ones who have good content I follow, but I do not friend them. So I would say I have pretty good content, very consistent content, especially if you're a mom. So feel free to hit follow, message me. I go through all my messages all the time. I will respond to you 100% same day. I'm really good. But I would say it depends what book I'm on is the answer to that. So, if I'm on book 5, I'm spending a lot of time doing that. If I'm on book 1, I'm spending a lot of time doing that because those are my prospects. Those are my people I'm trying to move to Curiosity. So I want them to see my drip. I want them to see my posts. So I'm liking and commenting on their stuff because that will help them see my stuff. Also, you want to comment on people's stuff because you want them to comment on yours. Really, Facebook's algorithms just changed. Some of you probably know. They're looking at how fast your post is getting engagement now for how good it is. So you almost want engagement within, I think it's 15 minutes. So, aside from like telling your friends to like and comment, which you can do, one of the things I really do is when people comment, I reward them by commenting back. So if you comment on something I say, and I'm not sure who you are, I will, or even if I know who you are, I'll say, hey, thank you so much. Someone posted something today and I was like, oh my gosh, thanks. That's a great tip. Right. So, really commenting and engaging in Facebook. Facebook, all distractions are created equal. So Facebook can be a distraction if you allow it to be. I think when you really take a business standpoint, like I've unfriended a lot of high school friends that I don't want on my team, just being real. And that's where I am in my business right now. So I'm really intentional about who I'm friending and who I'm engaging with. So I hope that sort of answers your question. But I can go down the rabbit hole pretty quickly. Is books a computer document? No, it's an actual book, a notebook. I don't like the spiral. It's like a flat book. I could get it if you wanted to see it. Or if you message me, I'll send you a picture of it. And when I move people, I just cross them out and put it in the next book. I don't know what you said. Thanks for saying that, but you're welcome. Nicole, I know Nicole. Nicola also unfollows people. Steal everything that you want. Yep. Okay. What is a weekly power post? So a power post is like an ask, like you're straight up going for it. That's why I only do it once a week personally. And I'm not saying that you should do it less or more. That's just what I do. That's kind of the market I'm in and where I'm at. Usually for me, it's business, just to be honest, that's just where I am. But when I first started, it was like a before and after of either myself or someone on my team. And I would share whatever they shared. But I personally right now that I'm just doing business. So a lot of it's just on, I was just on stage at ICU. So my power post last week was just about a dream coming true. I'll share about being able to pick up my daughters every day from school or go on field trips or just different things that, are power posts. When I first started though, you guys, and I was just making a little money, I shared about the ballet shoes and the little things I did because families have less, for those of you who weren't on in the beginning, 82% of families have less than $500 liquid cash. That means when their kid comes home and has a $58 field trip, that hits them in the feels, right? And so those kind of shares, those very small shares, which seem small when you look at some of us making bigger money, those are what really moved me in the beginning to make a change. Those are the things that move people. In some ways, some of us on this call, Nicole's on this call, she's a rock star, and Trisha, we're almost unrelatable to the general population because of the success we've had. So when you're just making $500 a week or $500 a month even, that's where I found I was much more approachable for people because they could relate to the things I was doing. I got a big purse not too long ago, and that's my thing. It's my only thing, so I'm okay with it. And I thought I'd have a lot of people message me like, oh my gosh, but that's so unrelatable to people because less than 82% of people have $500, right? So don't underestimate the ballet shoes and the, when my daughter played softball this year, that was like $180 after I paid for softball and then paid for the stuff. And we sponsored some kids to do it because we thought, gosh, $180, that is a lot of money for most families, especially if they have more than one child playing. I have someone on my team whose kid did travel something. I don't even remember. Is Lori on here somewhere? Travel baseball, travel something. And she used to talk about how expensive it was. And that was one of her reasons that she really got going in this business, was to not cringe when that stuff came back, because you never want to tell your kids no. I think everyone can agree. We all want to do better for our kids, right? In some way, not about spoiling them, but just not cringing when the field trips and the things come back. And schools are asking for a lot of donations now, and things are changing in our world. So don't underestimate a power. My power post might look like yours, but at one time it was just about being able to go to Gymboree guilt-free, right? So any other Gymboree moms in the house, I love Gymboree. But I'm just going to, no more questions. I'm just going to make sure I answer the rest though. Do I do live? Well, that's a good question. Put me on the spot. I don't, because I look like this. Let's see. I do not do Instagram. I recommend focusing two things. I do LinkedIn and Facebook. So I do not do Instagram. Instagram is more fun people. I'm not very fun. I'm a red. I'm really serious. So LinkedIn was a better match for me. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, so you can schedule posts. They're actually devalued when you do that, just so you know. So you have to get really good at scheduling. Do not schedule your power posts. Every post you put up has what's called edge rank. It's a ranking on how good your post is, how good Facebook deems it is. And that's how they determine how many people on your Facebook list will see it, like what percentage. You can schedule your post. It's called Post Planner. I don't do that. I do everything kind of as I go. And just to recap for Lisa, it's 5 books or 5 steps. Connecting is number 1. Number 2 is creating curiosity. Number 3 is the presentation. Number 4 is the tools. So they said not right now instead of yes. And then number 5 is follow up. And what's the last thing I just want to end with is, I just want to share this. I want to share my heart just for a minute, and I don't do this very often. So this is like special stuff because it's Trisha and I love Trisha. But when I first started this, my husband and I had some struggle with my success in this business. And if there's one tip I can offer all of you who have a significant other, and even if you don't have one yet, this business shines the light on things that are maybe would be not so great anyway, but this business shines a light on it. And my husband and I had some struggle in the beginning. And if I could go back, one of the things I wish I would have done is asked him what he needed while I was building. And my team on the line is probably like, you wanted to what? Because that was so unlike my personality. But I wish I would have asked him what would have made this build a little easier for him, because we really switched kind of roles for a little while. And this business can make or break a marriage sometimes, and it can make people struggle. And I wish I could have coached some of my team in the beginning to just ask as they were having struggle with their significant other. So when I did finally ask my husband a year in, hey, what could I do to make this better for you? Some of his comments made me feel a little sad. He was like, I wish you didn't talk on your phone, didn't text on your phone in the car. And I remember at first thinking like, why? What are we going to do in the car? Like, we don't talk in the car. Like, but he just felt like he was losing me a little bit because I was so focused on helping other people and focused on going crystal executive and all the things I was focused on, that my focus had shifted against a kind of off of that and off of our family a little bit, not so much my kids, but him. And so if I can give you one other tip and just leave you just a little bit with my heart, a little raw, as you're building this, there are times where you're going to feel like you're not supported. Some of you may, but if you don't, someone on your team will. And one of the best suggestions that I give my team now, and that I suggest you give your team, is just to have them sit down with their spouse and say, I'm doing this and nothing's going to change that, but I want to do this with as much ease as we can together. What's really important to you? what was important to my husband, unbeknownst to me, was like that I didn't text in the car, which to me, we'd get in the car and I'm like, 1 hour, I have 1 hour of like uninterrupted work. I was so excited, right? But number two, he just wanted to date me again. And we're married 10 years and I love my husband. And so we did no work Friday, which in the beginning, you guys, I felt like I was having a mini seizure. I had to leave my phone like at home, no joke to you, because I was running. When I went Crystal Executive, I've never dropped. I just kept going and going and going. And that poor guy, I mean, I kind of thought he just wanted, but he really did want to hang out, and talk and date. And I denied him of that because I wouldn't communicate and just have a conversation, which he kept seeing me have all these conversations in my business. And he was the one I wasn't talking to. So if I can just share that we struggled a little bit in the beginning, but in the end, this has brought our family so much joy, and it's opened up our communication a little more. So if you're in a place where you're not communicating, if you're in a place where you have people on your team that are, they're having strikes with their spouse in the beginning, I'd be like, you tell him that he's just gonna have to wait. Like I was the worst, right? Because that's what I was doing at my house. But now I'm like, he just loves you. And he may just want to date you aside from like see you with your clothes off. There are other things. So just make sure that you're doing what you need to do to take care of your home life too, because it is an important piece to this. And it's so much easier if they're on board anyway. So share that with your teams and leave your phones at home for date night and have fun with it and celebrate with them. I would always be like, what am I going to get myself when I go 2-star? And now I'm like, what are we going to do together? So start thinking of it together. It gets better if you can open up those communication lines. So I wanted to share that because it's always on my heart. It's not something I talk about very much, but I know Trisha would appreciate it. So Trisha, before I jump off, anything else that I can share or that you need from me?
I can't imagine anything more perfect, Samantha. I mean, and just that end, like you closed it and I'm sitting here like getting red going, holy crap, I needed to hear this right now.
We all need to hear it sometimes.
Thank you for bringing it. And the steps are perfect, guys. I know you're in love with what she just gave you. Ask your questions. Let's just nail this. We have May 27th. We're all looking at that date, and it truly is as simple as just doing the work. Right?
Yeah, $100 for your consultants too. I mean, right now I'm just asking people, like, I know I keep saying, I know this isn't for you. I know you don't want to do this business, but let's just get you the $100. I mean, why not? Right? They said at ICU, Trisha, that, it's so funny. I don't even remember who said it now, but they're like, listen, everybody knows 10 people who know 2 people who eat. And I just never heard it said more like, yeah, everybody really does know 10 people who know 2 people who eat. Why haven't we said that before?
I know.
Everyone on here can be a Crystal executive if they want to be. Go get that money. I love you, Trish.
It really is great, girl. I love you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Such good stuff. It will be on my YouTube. Just go look for Trisha Wilkins. It's under One Team University, and it'll be under Samantha. It'll have her full name there, so you guys can take that, share it, and let's do it. All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.